So as you're getting cozy, everybody, just take a couple deep breaths and bring your awareness into your body and just start thinking about how you're feeling today. Hi, Deanne. We're just starting. So we just laid down for our scan and we're just taking some nice deep breaths. And today we're going to be working with the muscles of our back and in our hips and pelvis and in our stomach. So starting at the top of your head, and think about how your head feels today on the floor, on your mat. And then moving through to your neck and your shoulders. Think about how your neck and your shoulders feel today. And if you want to roll your head from side to side just a little bit to see how it's feeling, you can definitely do that. I always like to take note of which side I tend to roll my head to first as well. Usually you'll roll to the side that's a little more comfortable for you, which means that's probably your tighter side, the side your body is used to going to. And now bring your awareness into your chest and your stomach and your back. And think about how your back feels today as you're laying on the floor. Do you feel tension in your back? Do you feel any aches or pains anywhere? And how do your hips feel? Do you feel that you're even on the floor today? Does one side feel heavier or lighter than the other? And moving down through into your legs. Noticing how your legs feel today. And all the way down through your knees and into your calves. Into your ankles and your feet. And then if you're ready, you can bend your knees and bring your feet to standing. And we're going to start with our flatten and tilts again.
And we usually like to start with our flatten. And the reason I like to start with the flatten first is just to avoid any cramping if anyone does have any pain in their back today. And make sure you start with these movements really nice and small. So as you lay relaxed, we're going to take an inhale first. And now as you begin to exhale, flattening your back into the floor, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, and holding for just a moment. And then super slowly with control, begin to release your abdominal muscles as slow and smooth as you can. And at the end of that release, you're going to go right into tilt. Just a nice small tilt to start today. So rolling your tailbone forward down into the floor, just gently lifting your low back off the floor, holding for just a moment. And now exhale as you release that small tilt, slowly letting your pelvis and your back relax. And then going right into flatten again. Flattening your back to the floor, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, and holding for just a moment. And super slowly begin to release. Now slow and smooth as you can, releasing in your abdominals as you slowly come back to that neutral rested position. And at the very end of that release, just as you hit that neutral position, going right into tilt again, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, just a little bit, and holding for a moment. And exhale now as you slowly release the tilt in your back. And at the end of that tilt, going right into flatten again, flattening your back to the floor by tightening your abdominals, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other. Holding for just a moment, and now super, super slow releasing. Slow and smooth, releasing in your tummy. And at the end of that release, going right into tilt again. And this time as you tilt your hips, rolling your tailbone forward, also roll your arms open now so that your palms are facing up to the ceiling, which will press your shoulder blades just gently to the floor. Hold for just a moment and exhale now as you slowly begin to release the tilt in your hips, slowly releasing in your back, and slowly begin to roll your hands down to palms down to the floor now. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, and now rolling your arms in towards your body. So now you'll have a gentle squeeze happening in your chest as well as your tummy is squeezed as your back is flat to the floor. Hold for just a moment, and then super slowly releasing. Slow and smooth, releasing in your tummy, and slow and smooth, letting your arms roll back out. And at the end of that release, going right into tilt again, rolling hands open now, palms up to the ceiling, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, gently arching your low back. Hold for a moment. Exhale as you slowly release. Slowly begin to release the tilt in your hips and back, slowly rolling your palms back down to the floor. And at the very end of that release, going into flatten again, bringing pubic bone ribs towards each other as you roll your arms in towards your body, gently squeezing in your shoulders and tummy now. Hold for a moment. And slowly, with control, begin to release as slow and smooth as you can. And at the end of this release, take a moment to rest. Good. And we're going to do a couple more flattens, but now I would like you to bring your hands up to your belly and put your fingertips and your thumbs together like in a diamond shape, and put your thumbs at your belly button and your fingertips pointing down to your pubic bone. So now as we do this flatten, what I want you to do is really kind of press, just gently, but press to your tummy as you flatten your back to the floor again. So pressing flat, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other. So you should notice your thumbs and fingers have gotten a little closer together now as you've tightened your abdominals. Hold for just a moment. And now as you slowly release, really focus on how much you can feel in your belly as you slowly release that contraction. Sometimes by putting your hands on the outside of your tummy, it can help you to have a little bit more control on that release. When you've finished releasing, just rest for a moment. And then we're going to do that again. Auntie Linda, you could just do it with one hand too if you need to. So inhale as you stay relaxed again first. Exhale, flattening your back to the floor, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, tightening in your tummy. And holding for a moment, press your hand down just a little bit, but firmly so you can feel it. And now super slowly begin to release in your belly, slowly with control. And rest. And then one more time. So inhale first, relaxed. Exhale, flatten your back to the floor, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, tightening in your tummy. Hold for a moment, pressing your hand down just gently but firmly. And now slowly begin to release. And at the end of that release, make sure to rest. Good, so now go ahead and lay your arms rested beside your body again. And if you can, bring your hands up to behind your head or your fingertips to behind your ears. If not, your hands can be rested on your chest or wherever is comfortable for you. You also can do these ones with the rolling the arms. Hands behind the head to help with our curl if you need support with your head and neck. So now we're going to do our arch, but we're going to start with it nice and small again. So inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, arching your low back just gently off the floor. And at the same time now think of pressing your shoulder blades down to the floor and drawing them towards your tailbone. Exhale now super, super slowly. And as you slowly exhale, you're going to slowly release the tilt in your hips, releasing in your back, releasing in your shoulders. And at the very end of that release, going into your flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, bring your elbows together and gently lift your head and chest into a curled position. Hold for a moment, and now super slowly begin to lower your head as slow and smooth as you can, lowering your head back down to the floor. And once your head is resting on the floor comfortably, then slowly opening the elbows. Also remember, if you have any pain if your elbows are not able to quite get to the floor comfortably, that putting cushions underneath of those elbows is a great idea. So resting for just a moment, we're going to repeat that one again. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down and thinking of drawing them towards your tailbone. Tilt your head back, hold for just a moment, and now as you begin to exhale so slowly, releasing in your back and hips, slowly releasing in your neck. As slow and smooth as you can. And at the very end of that release, you'll go right into your flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, flattening your back, bringing your elbows together, and lifting your head and chest into the curled position. Hold for just a moment, and then super slowly, really working for control in your abdominals as you slow and smooth, lower your head and shoulders, back down to the floor. And once your head is resting on the floor, then slowly opening your elbows. And take a moment to rest. And then nice and slow, you're going to bring your arms down beside you or wherever your arms need to go for you to slowly roll over onto your belly. And once you're flipped over and laying on your belly, you're going to have both hands up and you're going to be resting your forehead on the back of your hands. So fingertips together, elbows out to the sides, and your forehead is resting on the back of your hands. So we're gonna do the exercise that I call peekaboo. And we're going to try it on an inhale first. So as you inhale, you're going to leave your hands on the floor and lift your head and chest. Just gently, always staying in your comfort zone. So inhale, lifting head and chest and eyes and gazing upwards. Hold for a moment and then nice and slow now take your head and eyes and your chest back down to the floor until your forehead is resting on the back of your hands again, as nice and slow and smooth as you can. And take a moment to rest. We'll repeat that one again. Inhale, lifting head, eyes, and chest. And exhale now as you super slowly begin to lower your head, eyes, and chest back down to the floor. And rest. And now this time your head is going to stay on the floor with your hands, and your elbows are going to be lifting up towards the ceiling. Remember to stay in your comfort zone so your head stays down. Just your elbows are lifting, which you're going to feel in your shoulder blades as your shoulder blades will be gently squeezing together. So lifting the elbows. They don't have to lift high at all. Hold for a moment. And now super slow and smooth, lowering the elbows back down to the floor. As slow and smooth as you can. And make sure to rest. And then we're going to do that same one again. So head stays on the floor with your hands as you lift your elbows gently towards the ceiling. They don't have to lift high. And notice the squeeze that you feel between your shoulder blades as you've lifted those elbows. And now as you slowly begin to lower them, focus where you felt that squeeze. That's where you're going to work to slowly smooth out that lowering of the elbows back down to the floor. And once your elbows are back down, make sure to take a moment to rest. The next one we're going to do is peekaboo with a leg lift. So this time your head and eyes and chest will be lifting at the same time. You're going to think of lengthening and lifting the right leg. So inhale all together, gently lifting head, chest, and eyes. Your arms stay on the floor and think of lengthening and lifting the right leg. And it doesn't need to lift high at all, just a little bit. And now nice and slow, lowering your head, eyes, and chest and your leg back down to the floor. And make sure to rest. And now we're going to repeat that, but by lifting the other leg this time. So inhale again as you lift head, chest, and eyes, and think of lengthening and lifting your left leg now, just a little ways, holding for a moment, and then super slowly begin to lower head, chest, and eyes, slowly lowering your leg. And make sure to rest. And we're going to do another one with the right leg again. So inhale again as you lift your head, chest, and eyes, at the same time lengthening and lifting the right leg, holding for a moment, and super slowly lowering. Slow and smooth. Releasing back down to the floor. And make sure to rest. And now switching to the left leg again. Inhale and lift head, chest, and eyes. And at the same time, lengthening and lifting the left leg, holding for just a moment, and nice and slow, lowering everything back down as you exhale slowly. And when everything is back to the floor, make sure to rest. And now keeping your legs on the floor and keeping your head and your hands on the floor, we're going to lift the elbows again. So inhale and lifting just the elbows gently off the floor, squeezing in the shoulder blades. Hold for a moment. And now nice and slow, lowering the elbows, as slow and smooth as you can, back down to the floor. And make sure to rest. So the next exercise we're going to do is the looking over the shoulder. So I'd like you to leave your right arm where it is, but bring your left arm long beside your body. And you're going to turn your face so that you're looking towards your right elbow. So your left cheek will be resting on the back of your hand. And for this move, we'll be lifting head, chest, and elbow, and you'll be lengthening and lifting the left leg. I like to do this one on an exhale, so staying relaxed, let's inhale first. And now as you exhale, lifting head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the left leg. Imagine that your cheek and your hand are stuck to each other. And now slowly begin to lower your head, chest, and elbow. But remember, if you can't do that, and if you need to keep your hand on the floor, that's what you should do. Make sure to rest once everything is back down to the floor. Auntie Linda, do you want to say something?
I'm just confused. Am I lifting my hand and my
leg? Yeah, and I wasn't sure if you were doing that because it was more comfortable or if you needed to. So if you can, you want to lift, yes, your head, chest, and elbow as if you're all like in one piece. So your hand and your face will both be coming off the floor. But remember, everybody, they don't have to lift very high. And it's more of a turning motion. If you can kind of think of bringing your elbow up towards the ceiling and looking over your shoulder as you do it. Remember, it doesn't need to be high or big at all. In fact, let's make everybody do this next one smaller. So we're going to start relaxed and do our inhale again first. And now as you exhale, lengthening and lifting left leg as you lift head, chest, and elbow, just gently looking over that right shoulder. And then nice and slow and smooth, begin to lower everything back down. Slowly lowering your head, chest, and elbow, and slowly lowering the leg. Making sure to rest when you finish that one. And then we'll do one more. So inhale again first while you're relaxed. And exhale, lifting head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the left leg as you gently look over your shoulder. And then nice and slow and smooth, bringing your head, chest, and elbow and your leg back down to the floor. And when everything is back to the floor, take a moment to rest. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So you're going to bring your right arm down beside your body now. You're going to bring your left arm up beside you. And you're going to rest your right cheek on the back of your left hand. So you should be looking towards your left elbow now. Staying relaxed, we'll start with our inhale again first. And as you exhale, lifting your head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting your right leg as you gently look over your left shoulder. Hold for a moment. And now super slow and smooth, slowly lowering everything all together. As slow and smooth as you can. And when everything is back down to the floor, make sure to take a minute to rest before we start the next one with an inhale as we're relaxed. So inhale again as you're staying relaxed. Exhale as you lift head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting your right leg. Remember, it does not need to lift high. Hold for a moment and super slowly begin to lower. As slow and smooth as you can. And rest. And we'll do one more on that side. Inhale again as you're staying relaxed. And exhale, lifting head, chest, and elbow, lengthening and lifting the right leg as you gently look over your shoulder. And then slow and smooth, begin to release slowly and smooth as you can, taking everything back down to the floor. And rest. Did we do that 3 times? I'm sorry, you guys, I lost track. That was 3. Okay. So now you're slowly going to roll over back onto your back. Thanks, Deanne. And now you're going to have your right hand behind your head and your left arm is going to be long beside your body, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And we're going to be doing our inhale and arch to same knee. So we're going to start, I'm going to explain to you guys first because I'm not sure if we've done this one. So we'll be starting with our inhale and arch, our exhale and our flatten, but then you'll be bringing the same elbow and knee together. So it'll be your right elbow and your right knee. And if you need to use your opposite hand to help hold your leg, you can. And if you can't lift that leg at all, that's also fine. So starting with our inhale and arch. So inhale, rolling the tailbone forward and down to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down, and turn your head towards the right a little bit. Hold for a moment now. Exhale, slowly begin to release the tilt in your hips, slowly releasing in your back. And at the very end of that release, going into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, and now lifting your head and chest and right elbow and bringing the right knee and the right elbow towards each other. Holding for a moment and then super slowly begin to lower, slowly bringing the foot back down and slowly lowering the head and the chest and the shoulders back down to the floor. And last, your elbow will come down nice and smooth. And then rest for a moment. On the next one, you'll be going to the opposite knee. So starting the same way again, inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down, pressing your shoulder blades down, turning your head to the right gently. Hold for just a moment. Exhale now as you slowly begin to release the tilt in your back, slowly releasing in your hips and shoulders. Slow and smooth as you can, and at the end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone ribs towards each other, lifting your head and chest now, bringing your right elbow and your left knee towards each other. And holding for a moment, and then super slowly lowering your foot and slowly lowering your head and your shoulders. Back down to the floor as slow and smooth as you can. And once your head is resting on the floor, take a moment to rest. And now nice and slow, you're going to bring your right arm down beside your body and you're going to switch and bring your left arm up behind your head. And we're going to start with our inhale and arch again. The first one will be same-sided. So inhale and arch, rolling the tailbone forward and down, pressing the shoulder blades and drawing them towards your tailbone, turning your head gently to the left. Hold for just a moment. And exhale as you slowly begin to release the contraction in your back and in your hips, slowly releasing in your shoulders, as slow and smooth as you can. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, lifting your head and chest and bringing your left elbow and left knee towards each other. Holding for just a moment, and now super slowly lowering, slowly bringing the foot down, slowly bringing your head and your shoulders back down to the floor, slow and smooth as you can. Once your head is resting, slowly letting your elbow come down. Make sure to take a moment to rest. And then we're going to do opposite elbow to knee. So inhale again. Inhale, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down, drawing them towards your tailbone and turning your head to the left gently. Holding for just a moment, and now exhale as you slowly begin to release the contraction in your hips and back, slowly releasing in your shoulders. As slow and smooth as you can, and at the end of that release, Going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, flattening your back to the floor, lifting your head and chest, and now bringing your left elbow and your right knee towards each other. And holding for just a moment. And now nice and slow. So slowly releasing in your abdominals as you slow and smooth bring your head and chest, and lowering your foot. Slow and smooth, bringing everything back down to the floor. And when everything is back down to the floor, slowly opening your elbow. And taking just a moment to rest. Now you're going to bring your other arm back up so you have both hands behind your head or fingertips behind your ears or anywhere that's comfy for you. And we're going to start with our inhale and arch again. So inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades, drawing them towards your tailbone, tilting your head back, and this time let your jaw open softly as well. And now exhale as you slowly release the contraction in your shoulders and back, slow and smooth, releasing in your hips. And when you've finished releasing in your back, going into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, flattening your back to the floor, bring your elbows together and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curled position. Hold for a moment, and now super slow, begin to lower your head, really paying attention to your abdominal muscles now as you slowly, with control, bring your head and chest back down to the floor. And when your head is resting on the floor, then slowly opening your elbows. Make sure to take a moment to rest. And we're going to do one more of those. So inhale and arch again, rolling your tailbone forward and down, pressing your shoulder blades, drawing them towards your tailbone, tilting your head back, and letting your jaw open softly. Now begin to exhale slowly with control. As you exhale, you're just slowly releasing in your hips and slowly releasing in your back, slowly releasing in your neck and shoulders, as slow and smooth as you can. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten again, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, pressing your back to the floor, bring elbows together and gently lift head and chest. Hold for a moment and slowly with control now releasing in your abdominals as you slowly bring your head and shoulders back down to the floor. And once your head is resting on the floor, then slowly opening your elbows. Make sure to take a moment to rest. And when you've finished that one and you've rested and without rushing, you're going to go back into your self-scan position that you were in this morning. So if you had your legs long, you're going to lay your legs long again. And if your arms were laying beside your body, bring them there again. With some nice deep breaths, bring your awareness first to your head, your neck, and your shoulders. And if you did a little bit of turning of your head at the beginning of class, do that again. Make sure to do it nice and slow. And just notice any changes or differences that you're feeling. And as you continue with your nice deep breaths, bring your awareness now to your rib cage and your chest, and with the rib cage all the way around your whole body. So think about how it feels in the front of you, how it feels on your sides, and how it feels on your back. And now bring your awareness to your low back and your hips. And try to remember how it felt at the beginning of class today and how it feels now. And then moving down through your hips and your legs, through your knees and calves, all the way to your ankles and feet. And then when you're ready, Without rushing, you can roll to your side and come up to sitting. And we have about 3 minutes left today for some questions and feedback.